Hey, welcome to whatever this is. I'm Aaron Jackson. You can find me across the internet at Rotation Report, and we have a special guest today. What's going on? The big man himself, Howard Lindzon. What's up?
What's going on, Putin?
Oh, not too much. Just enjoying this nice rip in the metal stocks.
It has been a deglobalizing, we've been talking about it, deglobalizing world. You have nailed a lot of great trades in the rotation report. So I appreciate you doing these shows. You prepared some slides and we'll just go through the markets.
Yeah, screw it. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if this technology works. Oh, beautiful. We have charts on screen? Yeah?
We got them.
Okay, cool. So, all right, big sell-off. Everybody wants to know, oh, is the bull market screwed? Are we going to bounce? Yeah, we have the conditions for a bounce, right? Not a lot of signals. Not a lot of signals that we can hold on to anything for more than a trade here or there. But we have seen some flow indicators kind of help us catch a bid this week. You've got stocks versus bonds around the 200-day moving average, right? And then, VIX selling off. That really helps, right? Helps with flows. And then what do we have next? Oh, semi washout. I know we wanted to talk about the semis. Is that a washout here? Or do we have is it just a bear market? Because if you look in 2022, basically none of the SMH holdings were above the 200-day moving average the whole time. Right now we have Broadcom, and that's it. So what do you think, Howie? Buying any semis?
Demand seems to be there, right? But we have had the run of all times in what has been historically a cyclical business, right? But because of compute and AI and crypto and mining and ZERP, and until recently globalization, it was just the run of all time in semiconductors, performing the NASDAQ 100. And I always worry that when you're a component, and at some level these are still components, right? You're making machines. These are, the user has the power in this case, and so they always overbuild at the wrong time is kind of the way I see it, and that's what I worry about. This is they started acting like they were not cyclical, and now that we're in a serious washed out moment. Maybe this is the beginning of the end. You always, even if you're a great investor, you always wonder in these big pullbacks, is this the beginning of the end? And I think you have to play defense until we get some signs of strength, right? And the old me is like catch a falling knife. The newer, older me is, the last 5-6 years when you got to manage your stress is wait for strength. And but if you are looking a long-term investor, putting money to work in washed out markets, if you believe the demand is there and you do the work on the companies, these are generally the great times to buy great brands is when they're washed out.
Yeah, you said it. And I would say the big concern maybe for me is China's chip industry. They have been going crazy by just them alone have driven some of these semi equipment stocks just to the moon over the past few years, and that's kind of cooling off now. But no doubt they are trying to compete.
Yeah,
And
but
then
the chart's the chart, right? These are washed out levels, so it's it feels like the selling may have slowed down, as I've been writing about the last few days, right? Everybody's aware of what everybody's aware of, which is get me out.
yeah,
But for a market to rally, you need buyers. You can't just say the selling is going to slow down. And so I worry that if buyers don't show up, the people who haven't sold go and sell their next batch, right? And that's how kind of these downtrends kind of feed on themselves, right? If buyers don't step up, sellers somehow emerge.
yep, you said it. You said it. You need bulls for a bull market,
Yeah.
as they say. And it's a good point. Especially we're still getting these sentiment polls, the individual investor sentiment just completely washed out. The textbooks will tell you to buy it, but you gotta be smart still. And
Yeah.
then I know you brought up AMD. That's kind of interesting here against that 90, 95, 92. Okay.
Yeah. So again, if you want to trade these, and I imagine any great trader is looking at the same chart, so you got to be aware of that too. But if you can be disciplined and you have the time to trade these, again, in a washed out segment, trading against the 94 level, why not? If you're
Yeah,
a good trader.
it's
Yeah.
it's well-defined risk is what we like most, right? We got to have well-defined risk here. We got to trust our little indicators, like you get some gaps to shoot against. Okay, that's great on a closing basis, sure, but well-managed risk is the key to the whole deal here. And the other one, now this one is interesting, software. Look at that, the IGV. We had a big old base breakout last winter, and we're right back to that 21 high here. And boy, interesting level this week. And the first one I was looking at, that I'm thinking, trying to find like top quality. I'm thinking Cloudflare net. Boy, look at that thing. That sell
Yeah.
off, boy, 30 some
Yeah.
percent in a month.
Yeah, I'm bought a little this morning under 115,
Oh
full
man.
disclosure. So, again, these are the best of the best. We're a customer of Cloudflare at StockTwits, so I know the product, I know the management team. Um, Obviously, you're always in the software space thinking about valuation compression because it's hard to do the math and so again, like it's you got to know all that going into the trade, but yeah, I mean, if you're not going to buy it at 115, you're not going to buy it, right? And
Pretty
so if you're indexing, it doesn't matter. But if you're looking at software, this is like on my top five list. And the run to, I can't believe it got to 180. I don't remember getting to 180. Maybe I sold some on the way up. But yeah, 115 in a pullback in the whole sector. But Adobe on the other end today is getting hammered, you
Yeah,
know?
well, Adobe got caught up in the Doge reports. They even reported, oh, we've had all these seats from Adobe that were being unused. I don't remember the details on it, but it was a huge number. So, the guide's a little light. And but going back to the Cloudflare, I just wanted to point out, like, yeah, like literally after that earnings report, it's like, oh my God, I would do anything for a pullback to buy this thing. You get the pullback, you don't want to buy it instinctually, right? Just because that's how things are, right? But then you look at the price to sales on this thing, 24 times sales. It's like, damn, you're still paying up for best in class.
Yeah, that's the problem with this market in general. It's been so good for so long that you can get lulled into being complacent. So I said, like, when we are getting warnings that buyers are stepping aside, right? The buyers have stepped aside, the sellers are in control. Um, and everybody that's good, that's trading, is looking at the same thing I'm looking at, right? So I always worry about that. But at the same time, this is if buyers are going to step up or if news is going to flip. Generally, it flips around these. I'm watching these things for 100 years. I'm trying to just discipline, pick up ideas, and that's from watching the markets all the time. But again, if we're really headed into a bear market, stock can easily go back in the 80s. So you got to have
Yeah, for sure.
discipline around, the trade.
Yeah, yeah. More important than ever, if you ask me. And
Yep.
then, all right, the other big group, yeah, the financials. We've got broker dealers, Goldman Sachs, and then you even got like Citigroup, JP Morgan, all around, key areas, pre-election highs, 200-day moving averages, all of the good things. Uh, Very interesting spot. They're holding the levels, but they're not really finding buyers.
Yeah. I'm hearing this one in Goldman right now. I was a seller above 600. I've been, the black squid. I think even Robinhood, I'm trying some down here, because they were the best performers on the way up and they've come crashing back down to their 200-day moving averages.
Yep.
So I don't include Citi in the same group, but again, they had incredible runs. And, I think the big concern is, I don't know if you have rate, is going to be rates, right? Like it feels like everybody's watching the rates and rates have stopped going up, but they aren't coming down. They came down a little bit at the beginning of the year, but now it's like, and the German long yield is breaking out, and we tend to follow along with that. So
Yeah.
I'm a little worried the next level down could be because of rates. right? If rates don't come
Oh yeah,
down,
we got more on that in just a second.
okay, go ahead.
I don't know what order we have, but oh yeah, there we go. Bank of America credit spread indicator just this week, recovering a old low area. Boy, it was looking pretty good after the election, and like a lot of things, complete reversal here. So like what you're saying, yeah, this stress, it can pop up here anytime moving forward. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but coming quarter, you never know.
We can say just ignore, like you would say, ignore Trump. The markets are the markets, right? And I was joking before that we did pretty good with a dead president running the country, right? Like we long for a quiet VIX and a dead president, and we all made fun of him, and we all knew the joke. It was kind of like Weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. Well, we knew the joke. People were saying it wasn't a joke,
Yeah.
but we long for, we may be rooting for that market in a few months. And so I think the word on the street is like, look at the credit spreads, they're not bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they took out they reversed. The slope is a little bit nasty coming out of that reversal. And rates in general are not coming down. So, and then you have stupid talk, right? Like, let's get let credit card rates at 10%. Okay.
Right.
Like, that's not smart talk, right? Like, if you're going to pick 10, AOC, it's supposedly now like a bipartisan issue. The credit card should be 10%. I mean, why not make them 1%? And so when you have stupidity on both sides arguing about non-free market ideas,
Mm.
I think the credit spreads are saying, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut these people up.
Yeah. And when Wall Street's being like, oh, the credit spreads are fine, actually they're selling, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, another good point. Yeah. Who are you trusting to tell you that the credit spreads are fine, right? And they have been fine. And I think they're going to tell you they're fine as they try and realize they're looking at the same trade you and I are looking at, and
Yeah.
like, what happens if credit spreads explode here? And I think that's what people aren't asking.
Yeah, credit spreads are supposed to look fine, just so you know. I think that's the whole gist of the whole deal is, yeah, they're supposed to look good. And then it's really screwed. We're really screwed when they start looking bad, right?
Yeah. So again, I think the word I have for right now is defense. As much as I love, picking up stocks down 30%, 40%, a lot of growth stocks are. They're coming from places of up 400%, up 600%. So it's not like, Robinhood was 10, $11 when I started like complaining, like, what are people doing? Why don't they own Robinhood? And then at 60, everybody was like, I think Goldman came out with a strong buy when it was at 60, and here we are back at $36 and crickets. And doesn't mean the company is doing badly, but the world around the company has changed.
Yeah, it's just asset prices, right? So many of these stocks have just been insane moves. Yeah, like it's still a triple versus a year ago, basically here. I
Yeah.
mean, and
So
there's so
everything
many
I
companies
think
like,
about now is like rent to own, right? Trade to own is like, okay, I may be taking a lot of small, because I don't short stocks, but you pick your levels and you put up a battle and then you retreat if you're wrong. And but Brian Shannon, some of the smarter people that I've started to listen to is like, maybe it's better to just wait for strength, especially when the world's a little
love it.
shaky. You miss the first 10, 20%, but so for the people that are dying to think that things are cheap right now, I in my 30s and 40s, when I like to be that person standing there and buying stocks because they were on sale, sometimes it's better to wait until you get that a base and a move up.
Yeah, yeah, and it's weird. Some of the stocks you want to buy that are cheap are like not stocks that anyone talks about. We're seeing a lot of that, a lot of opportunity for active managers, but you really got to hold your nose on some rando commodities names and just hope.
Yep.
All right, next up. Oh yeah, speaking of the metals, yeah, gold versus the S&P. Boy, over the last month or two, this thing is just it was looking like maybe the S&P could outperform, and then it's just nope, completely broken. All of a sudden, pushing 5-year highs. Boy, nice little rip there, and it's continuing now.
It's continuing now. You don't hear, like before Bitcoin, it was always like, what do you call the gold bull? I forget what you call them,
The
but
bugs?
yeah, the bugs. and you never see, you have laser eyes, you have crypto, maxis, and you don't have gold bugs. So there is a lot of things working in gold's favor. I'm not a gold person, I own a little bit, but because of the trend, and deglobalization, my friend Lewis, made sure that I got some last year or a year just in my ear chirping. But I don't know how to measure it, right? So you can just trade it. So what are you seeing here when you see this?
Uh, Buy some precious metals, own some silver, probably. That's where I'm at with it. I'm long SLV. I got a couple silver miners, small ones, juniors, but the first thing I'm thinking is, wow, one of these days silver's going to catch up.
Yeah, some of the miners I saw Ivanov mentioning them look like on the verge of going. But again, I don't know the space. It
Yeah,
just the price action looks good, and the world, the textbook says this is what happens when deglobalization, happens. And there's no signs that whatever the strategy is in the White House, there's no signs that he's not serious about the tariffs, right? Like for all the talk that he's bluffing, at the same time, every day I wake up, they keep talking about him. So
pretty much. That's not going to stop, is it?
yeah, not going to stop. All right, these are great charts. What else you got?
Let's see. Do we have anything? Oh, I think that's the last one. So, yeah, I don't know. I know you got to run, so you can run whenever you want. I think we'll just dig into the chat, see if we got anything.
All right,
Oh,
fire away.
all right. First one up. Beat the sheep. I love it. We've got a little meta action. Okay, let's see what meta's up to these days. Boy, I don't know. What do we think? Oh boy, the open source. Mm. What do you think, Howie?
On Meta,
600, 590, 580s the last near support. Another area you could take a shot if you really wanted to.
what's funny is how much press they got for the 20-day, the memes, and he was looking at the Bezos's wife's chest at the there was all these Zuckerberg memes, and the stock went on this 20-day in a row, a rally at the beginning of 2025, right? And I
Mm.
think that really, I mean, I don't know if you can scroll like to a monthly, but that 20-day rally, I think, got everybody in Meta.
It was pretty epic.
Look at that. Like they weren't looking back to go, wait a minute. I know there's a 20-day rally, but like, where did this come from a year ago? 80 bucks,
Um,
100 bucks.
yeah,
So I think it did a great job trapping everybody. So if you go back to like the daily now, and I think like there's no doubt that Zuckerberg's got a monopoly on our minds. Or not my mind, but well, I use Instagram, but uh what a trap that could be. Like if
yeah, that
buyers
monthly
don't
isn't
step up here, I think if you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it. But like if you're not prepared for this, if you're going to ride this thing back into the 400s, why? What's your upside versus your downside?
right.
So like for a stock like this in an industry that like the whole class is struggling, I get why you would try it right here, but I also see why, like what's your plan if this drops below 560 and we don't see buyers? Like, do you want to hold this into the low 400s and trade your way out of this? So again, like, be careful. It's like inventory. If you're an investor, there's only so much capital you have to hold inventory, and so semis, like just brokers. There's a lot of things that are coming into these support areas.
Yeah,
You got to manage your inventory. I don't know. You can't own
gotta be
everything.
careful.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that need to sell that stock. That's going to be an easy cash register stock. That's what all the Mag 7, all that type of stuff is right now. I wanted to pivot to the best silver stock I've seen, Wheaton Precious Metals, WPM.
Wow.
The silver bear market was so bad they had to take the silver out of the name back in the day, a few years ago. I don't remember when, but yeah, no, we're looking at base on base and breakout from 2011 here. Just looking pretty good. You got a fib target up at 76, and then the next one after that's 105. But yeah, this is the type of stuff we want, not the meta.
Okay, but let's go back to like forgetting the name. This is a good lesson. So if you're in silver on the way down, whatever that, in the 2011 when the last commodity cycle ended to 2015. People don't remember these, like tech is different because everybody's so used to it just being growth. But if truly cycles happen and we go into this deglobalized world and everybody puts up walls, of course, software is a very different world in a globalized world because software is global in many ways. But at the same time, look at the downtrend in 2011 to 2015. So you're buying the dips, you're buying the dips, you're buying the dips, you're going backwards, you're wasting all your energy and time. And then it rallies from 10 to 30, right? So you go, fuck, I knew I should have held it, right? And this happens to all things that are in downtrends. But the real time to own this was after the spike and then the correction when it changed trends. And you could have bought it any time about 2019, 2020, a few years later, in the 20s and teens on an uptrend.
Yeah.
Right. So again, when I see it at 70, I go, I get it. Like,
Right.
This can double. It's a beautiful base. But these are cyclical companies and products, right? That people, so I mean, the right time to own any great trend is when it's switching direction and when it's starting those first big moves up. But yeah, continuation here. This is where the money's going to flow once people get tired of losing money in tech stocks. So this is how you can get a double in this. If the trend continues, but really interesting.
All right, what else do we have in the chat? Let's see. Oh boy, Snap. How much further down? Do we even need to look? Zero? Yeah, zero.
Not zero. I was just talking about it today with Snap. So if we pull it up, the thing about Snap is it couldn't figure out its business in the greatest ZERP. So the question is, what's the asset worth, right?
Right.
It's a $15 billion brand or product. And I think it more tells you about what's Twitter worth. If Snap has a lock on a certain age group and is worth 15 billion, and I think it's massively overvalued as a business, not maybe as an asset. What's the catalyst to make that go up other than Facebook acquiring it or Google acquiring it or Apple acquiring it? I mean, are they going to pay a premium?
You can probably just let it keep bleeding for a while, huh?
Yeah, I just don't get it. But it's an incredible asset, but I don't know what that asset's worth.
Sign of the times, right?
Yeah.
If you can't put a cash flow statement to it, who knows? All right, next up. Okay, apps. What is that guy? What are we talking about here? Digital Turbine. Oh boy. Look at that downtrend. Huh.
Yeah, I know.
Never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it, but like, boy, ooh, messy.
I mean, it looks like it broke some kind of major downtrend, but I don't know anything about the company.
Right. Yeah. Same. I'll tell you what, a tech stock, I think it's tech. If it holds above this 200-day moving average while, the whole market keeps selling off, well, there you go. You got a nice little positive sign there. Well, everybody wants to know about the Tesla. Oh, boy. Well, what do we think? How long before Elon quits Doge?
I just don't know. These guys they're living in I don't think, trying to figure out what's going on in their game of whatever they call it, 7D chess or 5D chess. Technicals haven't mattered.
No.
It's easy to like make them look like they mattered. That black line that you drew. It's like
I've got a lot of great, I can make the
it's like,
data
I
anyway.
bought it at 270, and a lot of people did. So I kudos. But like, if you fell asleep for a couple months, you're right back where you were. You have the president hawking these in the White House, and what's funny is the Republicans were so anti-Musk. And it was like they used to make fun of Musk. It's like, let's burn coal, right? Do you remember the let's burn coal people? And now he's their savior. So again, very tribal out there. I think what really matters here is that sales, sales, you need to, when you're a $700 billion company, I think you need growth,
Yeah,
right? So if we cut right to the chase, it's like great company, great entrepreneur, but at $700 billion, I mean, show me some growth,
right.
right? And right now he's like cutting his audience in half every day he wakes up. He's slashing his own base. He's arguing with, new people every day. So I don't think it's a great strategy if you're not growing.
True.
The product's great. People love his product, so I don't know. What would you do here? How would you trade this?
How about the trend line test? Just, even if it's a ridiculous line, like, and other people are looking at it, that's nice that other
Yep.
people are looking at it, right? Really, to put some size behind it, want to get back above that 270.
Yeah.
Need to see it back above that 270. Thought that was a pretty big level. Actually shocked that it kind of just dropped right down here, but hey,
Butter,
we're liquidating. So
like butter to 210, and that's what I worry about people trying Facebook. Like, they think they can put a stop in, but then these things can really melt down, and then you get stuck, and now you're just. So I'm saying, like,
pretty much.
in these pullbacks, you got to treat your cash like inventory, like you would a retail store. So I just think you got to be careful how much stuff you own,
That's a great
and
idea. And the other big concern is everyone's looking at these things. Everyone's just honed in on that certain subsect of the market, which gives you opportunity in the other things like your whatever silver miners or commodity type things. But yeah, everyone's here still.
Yeah. All right, well, keep going. Thanks for having me on. You're
Yeah,
doing a
man.
great
Thanks for
job.
joining.
Rotation report, everybody's just a phenomenal. Got the face to the name here, but it's really one of my favorite reads. So keep it up.
All right, man. Have a great day now.
See you.
All right. Shout out Howie. Thanks to him for having us. Thanks to him for letting me do the show and all that. But let's see what else we have in the chat here. Oh boy, we got some fun ones. Yeah, AMD. We covered the AMD. I'll cover it again because why not? I think it's actually one of the more interesting little risk reward spots in the market. Yeah, Howie's against that 95. That's not bad, but again, like that's just where we're at, right? Take a little bit of, I don't know where this chart is. Anyways, yeah, shoot against 95 or so if you want. I mean, you got your risk well defined. Please respect your stops, right? Because like we're talking about, everyone's here. Everybody. One I wanted to pop up, one thing that we were talking about in the rotation report just recently is, boy, we have seen, you got your gold miners ripping today, but they're not the only ones. We've got copper. We've got industrial metals. They are also trying to participate here. Wild looking stuff. Yeah, recently on these Monday lows, nice little divergences popping up all over across the commodities. So I don't know if you want to take a shot in some of these stocks. Like they're probably underowned. I think a big theme right now is people are like, yeah, commodities, but get some of your money out of the S&P, put it in commodities, right? They want to take the money out. That's a good idea. Where's the money from these tech stocks going, right? China, Europe, commodities. Not a bad way to live, if you ask me. All right. What else do we have here? Oh boy. I don't know how to say your name, but I do know how to type in ALLR. Let's go Alarity Therapy. Oh boy. That's going to be a no for me, dog. Yeah, that is just a nasty, brutal downtrend. Tell you what, take a new high out, have at it. But for now, like, boy, that is nasty looking penny stock. Oh, VFF. Have we put a tariff on Canadian weed? What do we have here? Oh boy. Oh my God. Look at that thing. Yeah. What you gonna do? Nothing. You're just gonna let it die in silence. There's nothing here. That's a tough one. Let's see. What do we have? Can we come up with any excuse to be long here? I can come up with an excuse. Yeah, sure. But like, is it a good one? Boy, there's just nothing here. Nothing. All right. Ooh, Torm. I like Torm. Isn't that, it might be, what is that? Is that UK gas pipeline? What do we think? Yeah? Interesting. Well, that's, hey, another one, that RSI trying to firm up here. Look at that. We've got that December low, 1777, and we're just trying to recover it here. Not bad. I like it. I like it. Let's see, what is it? What are you, Torm? Okay, yeah, London. Okay. Okay, oil tanker. Yeah, no. Okay, we like that. We like that. That's a nice little, I'm putting it on the list. I'm stealing that one. We like it. Let's pop this weekly in here. Okay. Oh boy. What a mess. You hate these unadjusted data points. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nice divergence on the weekly too. I mean, it's going to be challenged, but you can probably, I mean, if you're just keeping an eye on this low area, we like that. That's not too bad for a nice, just low risk kind of trade. Maybe this is a bigger bottom in play here and you catch a rip, maybe into say like a 22 zone or maybe even to that 200-day moving average. Hell yeah, I can get down with that. Shout out, where are you? XX Dark Soul XX, let's go. Great call. That's a Dark Soul, but it's a beautiful mind, right? Next up, we have I Buy What You're Selling, CTM. Oh boy. Okay. Interesting. Wow, that a heater, huh? Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know. Is this a SPAC? What is this? Castellum? Man, yeah, you're definitely going to keep seeing more selling because anybody who looks at this chart, they're just like, what is this? No, no. So, yeah, people are not going to like it. They're going to just auto sell it. If they have stock they need to sell, what is this? A technology firm, strategic acquisitions, information warfare, electronic warfare. Sounds fun. Well, you can see why I caught a bid in December, right? Hell yeah. But I don't know if I have an edge here. I really don't. But what is going on with these volume days, these accumulation days? That's kind of interesting. I don't know the stock though, and if you look, somebody's selling up above 160, 170. So easy pass for me. But if you have an edge on it, worth keeping an eye on the pullback. Maybe a 200-day test, something like that. Let's see. They Arl himself. God knows what that means. But yeah, Kathy. Okay. Not Kathy Wood, but Kathy, like caffeine. Oh, don't even know what the hell that is. Is that a crypto? That's probably a crypto, huh? No idea what that is. Um, trying to make cheese. Is trying to make cheese in Hylon, Hyln. Okay. What are you? Oh boy. Oh boy, a bastard child of the ZERP era, huh? Boy. Yeah, okay. So we'll zoom it in. Let's look at 3-year. Do we have some support around, that 120 area? That was a nice little area. Like, I'm not touching this thing with your money, but no, like 120, that's a decent area. But other than that, like, boy, I don't have an edge here. Maybe you do. That 120 area, maybe a floor keeps forming here. Could be fine in time. And then what else do we have? Ooh, IZEA, Carolina Capital. Okay. Is that another crypto? IZEA. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know if this is the one you're looking for. It's a stock, but my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that's an easy no. Yeah, pretty much. Easy no. Okay. Why is everyone panicking so much? Because they're over levered, right? I think we can agree HD 2500, we're all just over levered, too many tech stocks, and they just will not bounce. And it is quite a nightmare for anyone involved, right? Let's see. Yeah, market's fine. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. Yeah, except for in the last month in growth stocks when they go down every day. Except for, well, there was 2, right? But yeah, no, good point, HD 2500. All right. And then, ooh, LE. I don't know if I have that on this data. I don't know if I have this on the data. Live cattle, huh? I don't have it on my screen. Let's see if we can get something. Let's see if we can pop it up. Let's go. Nope, don't have it. Don't have it. Let's see, livestock. I'll tell you what, they say egg prices are going down. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, look at the livestock. Okay, that's not great. New highs. Oh boy. Yeah, look at that. Nice little 10-year base. Oh boy, it's going higher. Yeah, we better get these American farmers farming and all that. Yeah, that's not great, Bob. All right. Speaking of, let's look at the agribusiness again. I know last week we had somebody bring up deer. Boy, deer was looking good, but the agribusiness not hanging in there. Let's pop up deer right quick. What do we have here? If there's going to be anything in the agriculture commodities, it's going to be deer. And boy, it kind of looks like they're selling that one too. Like there are just sellers everywhere you look. My God. All right, we were talking semis earlier. Let's pop up the SMH. Ooh, boy. That's nasty, right? That's nasty. I know we've been talking about the QQQs. Uh, Basically, you look at this thing, there's still this double top here over the last few months. Uh, it's got a price target lower still, 460. So you could say, hey, 467, that's kind of close enough. Yeah, kind of. But then we're going to pop in, we'll just pop up this little support area. You look at the prior support area, and it is looking more like you've got a little action around here, sure. But the better spot is down here around 450. And we don't know, but we could be headed there in due time. All right, let's see what's happening in the markets these days. Let's pull up a nice little list of hammered stocks, and let's see, are there any stocks getting smoked you guys want to hear about? Let's go. Oh boy, Alta Beauty. They report tonight. I'll tell you what. Does anybody? I'd love to know if anyone has any consumer stock that looks good right now. I would love to know because, like, honestly, what is going on in consumer? It looks like everyone's just tightening up, just like buyer strike and in consumer discretionary. It looks terrible. Um, so guys, drop a good looking consumer stock on me. I'm begging you because I can't find one through the entire S&P 500 chart book. Cannot find it. Don't know what to make of it other than not good. Let's see. Adobe. Let's look at Adobe. Look at them get smoked today. Oh boy. We tried. They had a nice little fake breakdown a couple weeks ago, but you know, not good. Not good. Just bleeding out. And they were on the Doge list. There was something like they had thousands of seats, right? That they were getting from the government. And there was only like, I don't know, was it like 80 people using them? But they had signed, but they were paying for thousands of seats. It was just some crazy numbers like that. So it's like, one-time adjustment and all. All right. Let's see what else. Oh boy, look at Live Nation. Oh boy, that pullback is getting real. Oh hey, 200 day, I guess. I mean, a lot of algos are showing up at these 200 days. I mean, if you really want to make the case, you can. But again, I think stocks are just getting distributed too much in the whole group. Like it doesn't even matter at this point. And speaking of distributed, what do we oh boy. Remember last week we pointed out that little neckline area, that 97, 98 area in ITB. That was one of the cleanest looks in the whole book, the entire book. And it is just new lows today. Yeah, that's bad, right? There's no way around it. We can argue, hey, maybe there's a divergence. That's great. But you're going to need some of those old lows around 96, 97 recovered before you even want to sniff a home builder stock. All right, let's turn this frown upside down. Let's look at some names that are ripping. All right. Ooh, oh boy. Dollar General. We got Dollar General of all things ripping, which, by the way, I just have to point this out. I don't know about this stock. I don't know about this company. During the pandemic, there was such a big overbuild here in northern Michigan. They got one of these things in towns that were like deserted like 15 years ago, right? They're like, oh, look, this town, it's like a pit stop on the way to like a hiking spot in northern Michigan or a beach or something. And they're just, the only thing in the town is Dollar General. It is the creepiest thing. But hey, they've paid the price, right? Stock from 260 to 66. you can see why people are like, hey, let's just buy some nice, safe, staple name Dollar General, even though it is an extreme, massive overbuild, and God knows how much they're hiding in the accounting. All right. Newmont Mining, gold miner. That's right. This is where the money is being made, right? The bread's being bread. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that thing. You got a nice little longer term bottom potential here. What do we think? Is this thing going to bottom and then just rip to new highs? That's a nice little head and shoulders bottom. If it was a tech stock, I might be more interested, but hey, is what it is. All right. So we got to get it through 50, right? You got to get this thing through 50, and then we can start thinking, oh wow, this really is legit here. I think that would be a good one. Through 50, and then XPeng. I'll tell you what, these guys, they went back in the pandemic era. They went from what? They went from EV, and then they're like, no, we're doing flying cars too, which was great. That was, I mean, you saw the rip, right? It was a fun rip. It was a hell of a rip. And then now this week, or was it last week, they did, now they're focusing on humanoid robots. So they're pivoting again. And boy, I mean, sounds kind of toppy, but hey, you know, it's breaking out. It's above the 200-week moving average. We got an uptrend right now because all the flows in China stocks. So I guess I'm not touching it. You can see how extended it is at this point. But you know, if you really want to, just take a gamble on a flyer. There you go. And then, oh boy, big story of the day, Intel. Boy, they have really, this thing. First of all, the board, who knows what these guys are doing? Like, these guys are crazy. They're like, hey, we need a CEO to come in here with a long-term vision and really turn this thing around, right? Fantastic. Turn it around. You try, and then they fire him just out of nowhere. They're like, no, you're retiring. Thank you. But this new guy they brought in from Taiwan Semi, like, that seems like a great idea. That seems like the best hire they could possibly have, right? So, you know, big bottom, big news. You got to see more upside from here though, because boy, there are trap longs at 26, 27, it's just a tough spot for, you know, a group seeing so much liquidation. All right, let's hit that chat back. Yeah. Consumer discretionary and defense stocks do not look good. Even Costco looks terrible. What up, CColi? I don't, if that's how you say it. I don't know. But hood around 28.32. All right. So let's look at Costco. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah. The weird thing about your Costco is freaking this thing ran up so much, right? And it just exceeded EPS growth in a big way, right? It's just not tracking with each other. And so it tells you, you know, risky business right here, because I mean, that's an easy one to dump, right? When your stock's up so much and it doesn't make any sense with the earnings. I mean, that's just an easy one to sell. But you know, around here, right here at the 200 day, this 900 area has been support before. It's a good point. But yeah, let's pop this weekly. Oh boy. Yeah. Big old divergence. And then, oh boy. Yeah, no. I mean, look at this thing. You can't buy it. Yeah, you can't buy it. And then let's go. Hood. Yes. Hood around 30. Let's go. What do we have here? Yeah, there's some support around here for sure. 28 to 30. I'm not sure about the 28, whatever, but I think Howard had the right support area in mind around 35. Not bad, you know, as long as it's above the 200 day. I mean, you can definitely say the market's not dead yet. And speaking of not dead yet, yeah, I mean, you can see NVIDIA, not dead yet. Not dead yet. We hate that it's below all these moving averages. That is not the sign we're looking for, right? But it's still holding this prior breakout from September, October, right? But just look at this. You're gonna what? We're gonna rip it, right? Okay, let's just do the bull scenario. Rip it, and then what? It looks like people just have more US stocks to sell. It looks like those bastards over in Europe are just going to be selling stocks, Canada selling US stocks, and on and on and on. But I'll tell you what, you get over 130 again, and then that gap at 143, sure, maybe this, we do have one more leg. You never know when something turns. You never know when they're like, yo, Trump, we gotta pivot. The whole system's going to blow up. We got to pivot. We got to QE it. You just never know when that can happen. And then, ooh, Rigetti. Haven't looked at the Rigetti. Let's go. RGTI. Yeah. Oh boy. It's heavy. It's heavy. We can make the case that it's just a bigger consolidation, but you can shooting against the 7, I guess, if you want. It's heavy. I mean, I think we're all looking at that gap around 18 and expecting a gap fill. It's looking not great. I mean, we see it right now. Sellers, lots of sellers up around 9.5, just forever and ever. Not great, not great. All right, and then I think yes, smack the ask. We did AMD. How he likes it against 95. That's a good looking area, and that's a good area to shoot against him. But manage risk appropriately, right? And then DBAG 416. Oh, Microvision. Let's go. Haven't seen Microvision in a minute. Nope. That's a DBAG spot right there. What a DBAG that spot. 200-day moving average. Again, rejected there from below. So not great. That might be trouble. So I would run for the hills on that one if that thing does not close stronger than this right here. And all right, I think, we're caught up in the chat. So I think that's all we have for you this week, everyone. Thanks for joining. And, have a great day.